Hey guys, it's Liezl Jayne. Today I'm going to show you some easy meal prep tips to make healthy meal prep. I do meal prep, a lot of you guys ask me that, and I've never really showed you how to do it before, so I'm going to give you some of my best tips today, how to do easy healthy meal prep, because sometimes meal prep can be a total lifesaver. So I'm going to show you a couple of my top tips today, and let's get started. So my first tip has to do with how to prep vegetables in a way that will actually taste good and that will also last for the whole week. Sometimes when I'm super busy, I often find myself, skipping out on vegetables. But when I make a big tray of oven roasted vegetables at the start of the week, then I can easily add this to my meals, and so I still eat vegetables because they're already cooked and they actually taste good. I love oven roasted butternut squash, tomatoes, and also red bell pepper the most. Those are probably my favorite things to roast, but almost any vegetable is good oven roasted. Just add your vegetables to a baking tray with 1 teaspoon of cooking oil, some sea salt, some black pepper, and you can also add some Italian herb mix for extra flavor or any other herbs or spices that you like. And after roasting that in the oven for 20 to 40 minutes, depending on what type of vegetable that you've used, you'll have deliciously healthy vegetables to add to your meals for the week. Oven roasted vegetables are, in my opinion, the tastiest kind of vegetable, and they taste good fresh out of the oven, but they're also really good served cold in a salad, and they're really easy to add to all sorts of meals. So sometimes making a salad might seem like time consuming and like such an effort. So prepping your salad for the entire week all at once is a really great idea, because then, it's over and done with. And then you can take your salad to work or to school with you, and you can just grab it in the morning and you can go. But when you're gonna meal prep salads ahead of time, you'll want to make sure that you're using the right ingredients that actually keep well, so that your salad doesn't go soggy. There's nothing worse than a soggy salad. And I hate the word soggy as well. That's gross. So kale is really the best leafy green to use for salads when you're meal prepping. And the great thing about kale, this is kind of like a little hack, is that the texture of kale actually gets better the next day or after the prepped salad has been sitting for a while. It gets softer and it's easier to chew, and it's also easier to digest. What I like to do is cut the big stalk thing out of the middle of the kale, because it just doesn't taste very nice. And then rinse and chop up the kale roughly. Next, you can add the kale to a bowl with a little bit of olive oil and sea salt, and just rub the olive oil into the kale for about a minute. This is what's going to give the kale a better, softer texture and also make it easier to digest. I usually use 1 teaspoon of olive oil per serving of salad. And now you can add the rest of the ingredients. Vegetables that keep really well in a salad are things like beetroot and carrot. I like to either peel them and grate them and then just, have them prepped to add to salads, or I just buy them pre-grated from the store. So many shops sell them pre-grated these days, which is awesome. And then some cherry tomatoes. I also really like to add those, but take note that you'll want to leave the tomatoes whole so that they won't go soggy. Okay, that's the last time I'm going to use that word. Spring onions or onion slices, they also keep really well. So I've chopped up some spring onion here, and then lemon or lime juice really helps to keep the whole salad fresh. And it also adds really great flavor, so that's a must. And then some black pepper. I won't add any more salt because we already did that when we did the kale. Then you can add other ingredients like Italian herb mix and sweetened balsamic vinegar, apple cider vinegar. One of these combined with the olive oil and the lemon juice, they make a really great dressing. Raw nuts and seeds also keep really well in a salad, and also add some good protein and some healthy fats. I love using sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, walnuts, pine nuts, almonds, and then you can divide and serve your salad into little containers. And you can make as many as you like. I also love topping my salads with legumes like chickpeas and black beans. They keep really well in a salad too. The next tip is super simple and easy. Cook a big pot of brown rice or quinoa or both at the start of the week, and then you can easily add them to meals. I usually do both each week so that I have options. Add 1 cup of dry quinoa or brown rice to a pot with about 3 cups of water. I like to use pre-boiled water. Just be careful not to burn your hands while you're doing this if you're using the boiled water. Bring them to a boil on the stove and then let them simmer until they're cooked. The quinoa should take about 15 minutes to cook, and the brown rice will take roughly 30 to 40 minutes. And you can add more water if you need it as you go. and then you can add your grains to salad or any other dish or meal that you like. And legumes are the same. I like black beans and chickpeas the most. Those are my favorites. You can either use legumes that are canned in just water, or you can make your own. And it's actually quite easy. Just soak your legumes in a bowl covered with water overnight, or just soak them for 1 hour at least if you're in a hurry. And if any of them float in the water, then you'll want to pull them out and discard them because they won't cook at the same rate as the other ones. And then after soaking, just drain the water and rinse them. And then you can add them to the pot with some water. I usually use about double the amount of water to the ratio of legumes that I've used. And then you can bring them to a boil on the stove and let them simmer for about an hour. And after cooking, just let them cool for a few minutes and they will be ready to use. And you can store them in the fridge in a container for the entire week, and then you can easily add them to meals. My next little tip or hack for meal prepping is to make a double serving of dinner and then save some for lunch the next day. Or you can make a quadruple serving and have meals for the next few days. This is so easy to do. I do this all the time. I sometimes like to cook a grain like rice or quinoa, as I mentioned, with some oven roasted vegetables, like I also mentioned. And then with that, I'll either do some kind of chicken dish or some kind of dish with chickpeas. Here I've grilled some chicken in the oven, which is really easy to do. And so I'll serve 1 plate of dinner for myself for that evening. And then I'll serve the rest of the ingredients at the same time into little containers for lunch the next day or for dinner for the next few days. And I'll just cover those meals that I'm not eating right away and store them in the fridge. And there you've got yourself a nice dinner, and you've got a couple of healthy meals for the week in one easy step. So this is the easiest way to meal prep. And you can eat your meals cold if you like. Sliced grilled chicken is actually really good cold, and roasted vegetables and quinoa or rice, they can actually be really nice when they're cold as well the next day. Or you can heat them up in any other way that you'd prefer. I don't actually have a microwave, so I'll add about half a teaspoon of oil to a pan. I'll just slice up the chicken and then add everything to the pan and toss it around until it's heated, and then serve it on a plate. And there's dinner. I've shown you guys a lot of different healthy snack ideas already on this channel, but one that I haven't mentioned yet is something that I actually really love to make, which is homemade trail mix. And to be honest, I didn't actually know what trail mix was until I moved to the US after high school, but it's so simple and so good, and seriously so easy to make at home. So you can make it as healthy as you like if you make it yourself. And all you'll need is a couple of different kinds of nuts, seeds, maybe even some dried fruit if you want. And this is such a great healthy snack to prep ahead of time, so you can pop it into your handbag or take it to school or work for easy snacking. Here I've mixed a couple of different kinds of raw nuts together: almonds, cashew nuts, pecan nut halves, Brazil nuts and hazelnuts, with some dried fig pieces and some dried cranberries. The key with using dried fruit is to try to find a brand that doesn't contain added refined sugar, preservatives, or sulfites. And I've also added some raw shelled pistachio nuts, some sunflower seeds, and some pumpkin seeds. And this is quite a fancy mix, but you can easily make it more minimal and add fewer ingredients. You can really add whatever you want to it. I'll mix that together and then spoon some of it out into small Ziploc bags to take to work with me or wherever I'm going. And you can always keep reusing and refilling the same little Ziploc bags. And then you can also leave some of the trail mix in a big container at home too. Nuts and seeds are full of healthy protein and healthy fats, as well as vitamins and nutrients that our bodies need, and also fiber. So you guys already know how obsessed I am with breakfast, so I don't even need to tell you again. But if you're super busy and are always in a rush in the morning, then doing some breakfast prep, just once a week, it can be the best way to make sure that you're still eating a healthy breakfast. When I'm going to have a super crazy busy week, then I'll just take 5 to 10 minutes on a Sunday to prep all of my breakfasts for the whole week. And it really doesn't have to take a long time. You guys know that overnight oats are my go-to for busy days because they are literally the easiest thing ever. And I've shown you a bunch of different overnight oats recipes, but here are some super simple ones that I haven't shown you yet. So the basics of overnight oats is mixing half a cup of rolled oats with 2 teaspoons of chia seeds, and you can also use flax seeds for a similar effect or for something a little bit different, and half a cup of water. And you can also use a milk of your choice too instead of the water. I like to add a little bit of cinnamon to my oats and some fruit to sweeten it naturally. Here I've added 1 smashed medium banana to each of these 2. Berries are delicious in overnight oats. I usually just use frozen berries because it's so much easier. Here I've used frozen mixed berries. And raw nuts add great protein, so I've added some raw almonds to the 1, and any other type of seed or nut will work too, so I've added some pumpkin seeds as well. Okay, then the last one, I'm making healthy chocolate, my favorite. So 2 to 3 teaspoons of unsweetened cacao powder, 1 teaspoon of pure coconut sugar or 100% pure maple syrup, and then just mix that all up. And I've left the chocolate one quite plain because you can add other toppings in the morning if you have time. So just place the lids on them, or you can cover them with cling wrap. You can use jars, or you can even just use a mug if you don't have a jar, and then just store them in the fridge until you're ready to eat them, or for up to a week. And you can just grab your jar and your spoon and take your breakfast to work with you. This is really great if you don't have time to sit down and eat breakfast. I do this when I'm really busy. Or you can serve your overnight oats into a bowl in the morning if you do have time, and add some fruit, some nut butter, some yogurt, some nuts, and you've got yourself an easy, healthy breakfast that's super easy to put together. This is currently my favorite combination: healthy chocolate overnight oats with almond butter, fresh pomegranate, and frozen blueberries, or fresh blueberries if I have them. Or another quick healthy breakfast idea is to make some granola ahead of time. It only takes 20 to 30 minutes to make at the most, and this is my crunchy peanut butter granola recipe, one of my favorites. And the recipe's on my blog, and I actually have a couple of different healthy granola recipes on my blog, so I'll link a couple of them in the description box below for you. I love my crunchy peanut butter granola with some unsweetened almond milk and some fresh banana slices. It's so easy to throw together in the morning, and it's like a healthier version of cereal. So the most consuming thing about making smoothies is actually cutting everything up and getting it ready to put into the blender, all of the fruit and the other ingredients. So if you have all of the ingredients already prepped, then you can just throw everything into the blender, blend it up, and go. So what I actually sometimes do is freeze some coconut yogurt into little ice cube trays. You can use any other yogurt that you want to as well, but just keep in mind that if you do use dairy yogurt, then freezing the yogurt will actually destroy the little probiotics in the yogurt. So this is maybe best for plant-based yogurt alternatives. I'll just spoon the coconut yogurt into an ice cube tray and then place it in the freezer. And once it's set, I'll just pop the little yogurt cubes out of the tray and store them in a Ziploc bag. I also usually freeze my bananas. They freeze really well, but just make sure that you peel them first, and then you can freeze them whole, or you can also freeze them sliced up, which will make it easier to blend them if you don't have like a super high-powered blender. And I always like to keep frozen berries in the freezer as well. So in the morning, you can just add your frozen yogurt cubes, your frozen banana, and your frozen berries to a blender, and then just with a little bit of water and just blend it up, and you're good to go. So as I mentioned, grilled chicken keeps really well for meal prep. So I'm quickly going to show you an easy, healthy marinade that you can just throw together from scratch really quickly. It's super simple. In a bowl, I'm mixing 1 teaspoon of olive oil with 2 to 3 teaspoons of unsweetened balsamic vinegar, about a teaspoon of honey, or you can use 100% pure maple syrup, a big squeeze of fresh lemon juice, just don't get any seeds in there. And I also like to add Italian herb mix, about 1 or 2 teaspoons, or you can use something spicy like cayenne pepper and a little bit of ginger powder, just a really small little pinch of each because they're quite strong, with some sea salt and black pepper. And you can mix that up and drizzle it over the chicken breast meat on a baking tray and grill that in the oven for about 20 to 40 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius or about 360 degrees Fahrenheit, and then your grilled chicken will be ready to serve for dinner or to save for meals. Just store it in an airtight container in the fridge and it will be good for about a week. Hard-boiled eggs or grilled salmon or even grilled turkey, they also keep really well for meal prep protein, as well as beans and legumes and chickpeas, as I already mentioned. So that's the easy, healthy meal prep ideas and recipes that I'll be sharing with you today. Let me know in the comments what your favorite tip was, or if you have any other healthy meal prep ideas or tips. thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you enjoyed doing a little bit of meal prep with me. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I will see you again soon.